It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's time for us right now to take a look at news that is making headlines all across the world. People in shock yesterday about what's going on with what's being called hashtag FIFAgate, right?
Oh, man. Now, bearing in mind that this is a story that has evolved over 24 years. Oh, what a tangled web we weave.
Sure.
We've seen arrests already being made. The US at the moment are driving this. But of course, taking into account that we are looking to decide a new FIFA president or possibly re-electing an old FIFA president tomorrow in the FIFA elections. UEFA have called for a postponement of those elections. But let's take you through some of those facts. And joining us on the line in a moment is our sports reporter, Volo, who's been trying to work his way through that. But just giving you some of the basic facts here, and bearing in mind at the moment, a lot of this really is conjecture because nothing has gone to court as yet.
That picture speaking 1,000 words. The look on
you
his
can
face.
imagine.
But let's connect with our sports producer right now. Comrade Vij, good morning.
Yes, Comrade Katejo. Good morning, Comrade Graham. How are you?
Good morning, sir. I would have thought that you would have been a bit more disappointed this morning. I think all of us are just trying to wrap our heads around the magnitude of what has happened. Before we focus on South Africa's connection to the scandal, can we put it out there and say, is it absolutely possible that Sepp Blatter has not been implicated or can remain guilt-free through this process, through a case that has been evolving for 24 years?
Yeah, Graham, that's a great question. I think it's all for the courts to decide. But I think for the viewers at home, they kind of need to put it in context of almost like the Wolf of Wall Street, where, one person went down. In this case, his name's Chuck Blazer, who's a U.S. citizen who basically got caught out by the IRS for not paying his taxes. And because of his involvement, and he was a high-ranking FIFA official. All of a sudden, a lot of the FIFA officials now are going down one by one beside him. And everybody comes from the Latin America, Caribbean sections, which is known as CONCACAF. And now it's just trickling down from Chuck Blazer, who's obviously got in the IRS and the FBI and all those U.S. Law enforcement agencies involved. And now they're all getting involved in trying to get the guys back to the U.S. So it's quite a big deal right now.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned all the regions that are involved, but what are the implications in terms of us as a country? I mean, we celebrated one of our greatest moments in history with the 2010 FIFA World Cup. Are there any links to us? Tell us a bit more about those facts.
Okay, well, at the moment, what's being said is that Jack Warner, who is a former FIFA vice president, is alleged to have accepted a bid from South Africa of about up to about $10 million to ensure that South Africa got the 2010 FIFA World Cup. At the moment, it's unclear whether or not what our punishment will be if we are found guilty of that. But both Jack Warner and the South African government have called the allegations baseless and untested. So they're both denying any involvement in any corruption. But obviously, time will tell, and the court cases will tell.
Now, looking forward, obviously, we've got Qatar and Russia, prospectively hosting World Cups in the future. Has anything come out looking forward as to those processes having come under investigation?
See, this is another interesting thing, is the fact that the U.S.-led investigation is not in any way linked with the charges of any wrongdoing with the 2018 and the 2022 awarding of the FIFA World Cup. So that's a completely different investigation on its own that's being handled by the Swiss authorities. So it's as if FIFA's being attacked now on two separate fronts. And I think Sepp Blatter is in for a very, very long weekend, and I don't mean the kind that we enjoy here in South Africa.
Well, you mentioned his name, Sepp Blatter. Of course, tomorrow we are looking for a new or possibly re-electing an old FIFA president. Do you think, maybe answering UEFA's calls to postpone it, that we will see a postponement?
I would be very disappointed if we saw a postponement. For me, I believe that Sepp Blatter has served his time, and FIFA has been riddled with corruption charges for so many years. And I think it's time for him now to do the honorable thing, actually, and just step down before the election even takes place, because it's all happened under his watch. I read an article yesterday calling him the Wolf of of FIFA. And I think, it is time for him to just step down. And if he does get re-elected, I'll be very, very surprised. But it's Sepp Blatter. Anything is possible. The man's been there forever.
That's our sports producer there. I guess right now, Comrade Bolo, all that is left to say is cheers.
And enjoy your long weekend, my friend. Of course, he is up against Ali bin Al Hussein of Jordan, which would mark a very, very interesting new era for FIFA. But I think this story is going to be unfolding over weeks, not just days. So we will certainly keep you updated.
Indeed. Right now, let's find out what else is coming up from Ewan.